Jerry and Bobby, we're gonna get ready for you guys in just a minute.
Hey,
You guys are gonna come up
person
front.
here, it would be great if next time, I couldn't hear a thing you said. You guys, all you guys, and so, I could hear you. Just get closer. But no, but I just, oh, I'm not questioning you. You could answer any questions.
You want to go talk to him outside?
Thank you.
So let me ask, let's call it Spencer.
Yes, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Some of it.
Yeah, we got it.
We were just at a salesperson. And so they do step one.
Yeah, I'm trying to. And
Okay.
I need some, around my pedestal, my dirt has sunk, and it's not even with my sidewalk, and I would like some dirt.
What's your address?
304 North Main.
If we absolutely will restore it, properly. So.
hi, she's my neighbor. I'm just verifying.
What's your number? Phone number.
765
I just want to call to make sure it's resolved.
271 3888.
3888.
Yeah, and then my last question too is, okay, I know they were talking about the alleys and stuff. So it's just kind of coincidental that none of the north alleys were suitable where the south alleys were.
It depends on what was there. So a lot of the town did have water and sewer running through the back alleys, and we weren't able to get back there safely. Obviously, we don't want to hit water and sewer while we're doing our work, right? So that's why we went up the front. In some areas, we were able to, like right here. If you go back in this alley, there's pedestals all back
I know,
here.
but I'm on the north end. So
Yeah,
that's
I
why.
know.
No, I think there's one of those smaller ones 2 doors down from the Christian church right down here.
Oh, really?
There's a little one. Somebody told me today that they thought you guys had hit the AT&T thing and replaced it, but I don't think it is. I think it's
Is
one of these
AT&T here
little-
too?
No,
Oh, they're not?
no, they thought you guys had hit something to do with the AT&T their little pedestal thing and had replaced it. But I think it's one of these. I think it's that one. I don't know why there's just one.
Well, I
But
know
in
for
town,
sure.
but I think there's one down there. People went to see it, but we're not allowed to talk in there, so I couldn't say that.
Okay.
so my question is, I had, my name is Paige.
Page, hey.
Yeah. I have a water main in my front yard, and I live on the corner. I live right behind you. So my question is, they have a pedestal on one end of the road that I live on, and then they tunneled all the way through my yard, under my driveway, and to the other corner,
In the right of way, the public right of way.
in the easement.
Right.
That's where they all are.
Yeah.
My question is, there should have been, if you're looking at keeping them consistent, there should have been a pedestal in my front yard, but there wasn't. So my question is, if it will run from this corner to this corner without a pedestal here in my yard, and they still said that it will work, why can't we cut out the amounts? Because clearly it's not a problem with the distance.
And you're right by Page.
Distance is absolutely not a problem.
She's behind.
Right.
Like I
She's
said, it's more
behind.
I'm on the
so
road. She's
building
on the
drops
road
on people's
behind.
property.
So she's
So in theory, these can
she's on Illinois.
source
You
further
didn't see him
links.
when you came to the last meeting.
Yeah, we could run a drop up to
See him now
2,000
either.
feet.
Well,
So why do we have this many
I
pedestals?
drove around. I had dinner
Like if
with
you don't want to run, that would require
I
extra
drove around a
construction.
little bit.
So it's just more money,
Not more money, it's more time. So
which is more money for a business.
yeah, when you sign up for service, right, you want that service installed the same day.
I mean, honestly, I would not care if they had to set up a thing in my yard and it took another 2 days to 3 days. Nobody would care about that. Like, literally, if people want service, we would not mind. Like, oh, okay, just like, oh, my mom has HughesNet. She had a huge disc put in the center of her yard. And they had to schedule a time. She had to take off work. And nobody cares. Nobody cares. We want our towns to be clean, free of this. I mean, it's going to be left here. Like, one day, it's not going to work. And it's just going to be left here. And no one's going to care for it. No one's going to clean it up. It's literally looks terrible. This is a historic town. And we're putting crap infrastructure in here. that nobody wants. Nobody wants it. There might be a handful, but we have over 200 people that signed a petition stating that they will not use Comcast if there's pedestals. So these short ones are not going to cut it. I'm just letting you know they're not going to cut it. They might get a handful more, but for the majority, it is not going to work.
You're going into Sheridan now. I'm surprised Sheridan is allowing it.
Yeah, we heard the complaints. We tried to come up with a solution here.
I think the actual solution that would really appease, I would probably say, the majority of the people in this town is if they could be underground, and then if they need tapped into, then they can be a pedestal one day. Like, if they truly need the service, then they can have it. They can have it to be a pedestal.
The problem with that is if you put one underground, it affects, like I was telling you.
How does that not affect, like, okay, so there's a car accident into one of these pedestals. How does that not get everyone out?
It will. If the car hits
So there's
the right
literally no difference between the pedestal and the underground.
pedestal, we can prevent water from seeping into
So you can prevent water seeping in from the underground ones.
Yes, by not putting them underground.
So there's none that are underground right now.
Correct.
No, we know that there's some because we just saw them. There's a stake that says Comcast underground underground vault.
Yeah, underground fiber.
Yes.
Fiber, not electronic.
Okay, so what's the difference?
Well, electronics don't mix well with water.
No, I'm saying what's the difference between doing that versus doing that in everybody else's yard, but doing that in those couple that you've already done?
The electronic, that ball you're talking about, the electronics are not in that ball. That's why that ball was able to be underground. Because there's nothing electronic in it.
So why did you do that versus the others?
Because others have anything that serves a home has a piece of electronics.
But these are in front of people's homes, and they don't have a pedestal.
I don't think I understand.
They do. Well, you're just there. Go drive around. Have you looked at your stuff?
Yeah.
You have.
Yes.
Do you think that this looks good?
Just drove around.
Do you think that looks good?
I don't think it looks bad at all. Heads are very straight. Nick, can you have that picture real quick?
Where?
They're asking
Well, you can see the picture. It's on the Change.org website. They're straight. I've had a couple people come to me saying they're crooked.
So you're going to replace every single tall pedestal?
90%.
Every single one?
90% of them. There's about 10% that won't be able to be replaced, unfortunately. And where is that located again? Generally, we don't.
Can they be moved? Like if a homeowner wants it not in the front of their home,
No, they cannot.
they can be moved to like the side of their yard because they're smack dab in the middle of people's fronts, like
In
right
the
where they park
public
their cars.
right-of-way, though, and we have a right to be there. And if we couldn't get into the alley, right, we had to go in the other.
In the center of their yard. You couldn't like.
There's a lot of empty alleys.
Yeah.
There's a lot.
Well, that's what
we
she
have
said was saying too.
Nice to meet you. Sorry about all the trouble and lack of communication. But in all fairness, I couldn't communicate.
Personally, I'm still not satisfied.
No, we're not satisfied. It's not gonna happen.
Smaller pedestal. I thought it
No.
would make you guys happier. I really did.
We want to see.
I tried.
We want to see level with the ground.
Yeah.
I understand. I do. And look, I value that you guys care about your community. I think it's wonderful. You know, that you.
Why weren't the smaller ones used initially?
Because they're more expensive.
Well,
They're not. They're actually
it's standard
They're
for us
cheaper.
to use the regular one. We just didn't think about it. We didn't
The
think
shorter
about an
ones.
issue. You know what I mean? What's your name?
I'm
Jeremy.
Fabian.
Fabian, nice to meet you.
There's a new initiative.
Sorry about all the trouble and everything. Hopefully you'll change your mind and become a
What's called
customer.
OTEs.
Absolutely not.
Fiber.
Absolutely not.
We do have really great
Trying to
services. And
experiment
by the way,
with. Obviously,
No.
it's not
The
We
internet
don't want to
is
hear your
essential.
sales pitch. I'm
The
sorry.
internet is
We don't want to
essential.
hear your sales pitch at all.
No, this isn't a sales pitch. This is about internet essentials. So low-income families can get
This is a sales
high-speed
pitch.
internet for $15 a month.
It's a
And
sales pitch.
how you going to
That
use
is
the
a sales
internet if you
pitch.
don't have a laptop? We have subsidized laptops for low-income families. I'm just since this is going to go on.
You don't need to look at us and say we're low income. My husband's a physician.
No, I wasn't saying you were
Like-
low income. No, I'm saying it because you're videoing me. I'm assuming, and this will go out to the public, right?
We have mobile hotspots. We have all of that. What this guy was saying, we have all of
I'm
that.
just saying that will benefit potentially if there
I
are
can't hear you.
low-income.
I just want to make sure I understand this.
Oh.
He said that there is no circumstance in this town where the contents of a pedestal are found
Underground.
below the ground.
That's what he said.
What does it say it again?
Yes, that's what he
There's no
said.
circumstance in this town where the contents of a pedestal are level with the ground.
That's what he said.
Is that right?
It should be. It is. It's being built with respect on you.
That's not right, yeah.
And you're
Where
saying
is
it
that
can be
other
done,
lady
but
that
you're
needed
afraid that
it?
your seals will leak water.
He said that, yeah, they'll leak water eventually.
That's the concern. You can't-
One day.
You can't make these watertight.
What do you
But-
do for a living?
I'm an anesthesiologist.
Anesthesiologist. So when you use faulty equipment on a patient on purpose to save money, like,
Okay, I need you because she has a question.
So you're saying that underground is faulty now?
Well, we're not on the pole, so the system is underground, but the equipment has to be in the pedestal. What's that?
How do they not get wet into the poles and get water damage?
Say it again. I'm sorry.
How do they not get water damage in the poles?
Well, they would. That's my point. If the system is on the poles in a storm, they could knock a wire down and cause the system to go down. So it is more secure underground. In the event of a weather event,
So it's more secure under the ground now. Now it's more secure, but water can still get in.
the system we built is all underground except for the pedestals, of course. Yeah, that's my point.
And
Does that
you're
make
not
sense?
aware of any other complaint other than this town?
Yeah, are you aware of others?
Yes. Yeah.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay.
Just Google it when you go home.
Yeah. Well,
How long have you worked for Comcast?
2 years.
2 years. Oh yeah.
3 years.
And you went to law school?
What? And who? I still don't know who you are.
I told him my name. He knows
Your
my name.
page. Are you with Garrett? Are you guys?
You have to
couple?
guess.
I don't know. Anyways, it was nice to meet you both, and I hope we can use a smaller pedestal to make
You,
it
you
happen.
do know the petition has more people signed this petition to boycott your services than there were petitioners to incorporate this town.
We hope we can overcome it. And we're gonna
Okay, well,
try
if you want to overcome it, you can put them flat to the ground.
we're not going to do that. So,
Yeah, we know now.
sorry. I don't know what to say. But it was nice to meet you. Here's my call. Well, you had my call.
Well, even if we did call you, you wouldn't answer anyways. Because Steven tried to 6 times.
Who is Steven? Because I want to talk to him.
And
first.
Steven did not have an FCC complaint.
Who is
So,
Steven? I want to meet him.
I didn't complain.
right
to the
here.
FCC.
No.
Steven. Hey,
No, actually, Garrett did not have a complaint at the FCC.
I don't know where that came from.
I called. I don't know what I told you. I called.
Steve.
Who is Steve? Steve?
He was probably from the.
Oh, from one of our contractors?
Yeah.
It was probably one of our contractors.
Yeah, and that's. I
Sorry
went
about
over
that.
the town.
Give me a call and we'll talk, okay? Yep.
And you're going to put his underground. Because that's what he called about.
No, we just had a good discussion. He understands.
My area right there floods, or I mean flat. So mine might have to be. Because mine floods.
But yeah, the resident.
You guys are going to switch to Comcast?
That's what I was trying to do is get your answer.
What?
Question is.
We can't force anybody to do anything.
But you can force us to have crap in our yard.
We won't force you.
You can force us to have things that we don't want in our yards.
All I know is that we believe there's going to be more people requesting service than what you might think.
Than what we might think. Well, I guess we'll see.
We'll see. I don't know, but we'll see.
Maybe not after I share all this.
And I just want to make sure you stood by your claim. You've never heard of any complaint other than this town, ever. And you've been doing this a while. He's been here 3 years. You've been doing this a while.
I've been with the company for over 11 years. Like I said,
Kirkland is the first time you've ever had a complaint about these Comcast pedestals.
that's right. And we have
Nationwide, by the way, not just.
well, our division, and my boss meets with other regions and other divisions around the company. We have 3 divisions. And so one of the government affairs vice presidents with our central division, we're all part of the central division. She's like, I haven't dealt with or heard of a complaint about pedestals in years.
Your boss?
My boss, not my boss, but he has spoken with.
Who is your boss? I'm not sure the structure of it.
It's just Craig D'Agostini, that's his name, but he's out of Michigan. We're a part of the Heartland region, so Michigan, Indiana, and Kentucky.
And you haven't told Craig about the situation here.
Oh no, he's aware of it.
He's aware of this.
Oh yeah. Our division is aware of it. That's why I say we spoke to our division, government affairs, government and regulatory affairs, and they're like, we have not complained about pedestals.
Have you ever had a circumstance where somebody complained and you did put it level with the ground?
No, not that I know of.
There's never been a circumstance where one of
that
those
I know of.
pedestals
Yeah.
in your 11 years. I'm just making
Exactly.
sure. I'm
Exactly.
just clarifying so I understand.
And like I say, I only get involved if there is a complaint, because we're doing construction all over the country. We're probably investing definitely hundreds of millions, maybe even a billion or more, in rural broadband, small towns, country roads, that kind of thing.
So you can't invest any more to make sure that we're happy.
And we already pledged that it'd be up to $100,000 to put in these smaller pits.
So
that is the resolution.
You
That's
can't
the only
take these
workable
out.
Resolution. That is correct. The workable resolution is the smaller pit.
So why do we? I just don't understand why there needs to be this mini.
Yeah,
I still don't understand why there needs to be this.
I just want your opinion on this. Do you think that's excessive and egregious?
Because you said in the meeting that
You
it
don't
should
think-
service
you don't
8
think
homes.
A town with 290. Now I know you said the businesses, but I'm talking about the census data. The census data, 319 homes. You don't think? You said your goal was 215. You don't think that's excessive?
No,
You don't think it's excessive?
That's the design. That is the design.
Did you show that to them?
Show what to
Did
them?
you show that to our town council? That it was going to be 200 and whatever amount.
I don't know. I was not part of that meeting. But I know they met. They talked about it. That they met and
Are you in charge of doing the permitting and stuff? Are you and Jeremy in charge of getting the permitting for the state roads and?
no. We use subcontractors for that. So
I'll just tell you, just to be honest with you, so our next steps is first off, we're going to do a fine-tooth comb to make sure your permitting matches exactly everything you said you were going to do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if you're aware of this, but that can actually become a big issue if your permitting doesn't align with exactly what you said you could do.
Mm-hmm.
At times, you have to start from scratch. So I'll just point that out
Yep.
there. So that's our next goal. We're going to make sure you did everything, crossed your T's and dotted all your I's. And then we're going to be reaching out to local representatives. This isn't. I'm just letting you know, this isn't dying tonight. And so
you have to do what you have to do, I guess.
Yep.
That's the response.
You have to do what you have to do.
You have to do.
What's the mechanical difference between, say, a larger one and a smaller one?
This one has the capability of serving more homes.
But you said they're not actually servicing that many homes.
Exactly. I'm saying. You do not want us coming in and cutting across.
They already
I
did.
agree.
They did that to
I
my
agree.
yard. No, they did.
No,
The
you-
guy
no.
tunneled under our driveway.
Remind me your name.
Right, they
again.
went under.
What was your name?
That's
again?
correct. Matt.
Matt, you're
Went
100%.
under.
Matt
Right?
said exactly the way we all feel is that we don't want Comcast cutting through and destroying our town. That's 100%
Yeah.
fact. Thank you, Matt.
Thank
And
you.
you didn't do that. That's
It is
100%
destroyed.
fact, too.
It's destroyed.
So, thank you.
So the smaller one, you were saying the smaller one serves less.
It had been.
No,
You'd have it 2 doors, so I don't know how it blew up. But
because he's the construction technician.
He doesn't
But
know the
this
difference
is a
between the two.
solution that will work
I'm not
for
the only
this
one
situation.
that's not got it.
This 12-inch.
Sometimes they're hesitant if they go in a fence or if there's dogs
No dogs, no fence, nothing. Wide open.
we apologize for all this inconvenience we didn't.
And let's talk about Sheridan.
So you know more about some of the mechanical.
He works for the town of
So
Sheridan.
what is the difference?
So he's got both my cards.
The bigger one.
Maybe a lot stricter than
So
here.
the bigger one, houses.
Yeah.
it's called
But we
an
had a
OT.
call with them already. We were on that
It's
call.
more like the
No, I
traditional
don't.
pass.
So now they're going to
We
Sheridan.
want to go in the
It's,
alleyways, but
pretty much
Duke
a
wouldn't
splice
let us on
enclosure.
Sheridan. So your town manager wasn't.
Duke wouldn't let you on the poles,
There's
but
less
pedestals in the
So
alleyway, right?
They said they were all
around that don't have, those
I don't know too much about it.
was trying to approve of, I think, like
That's where the fiber ties in. That's what came in underground.
flat.
Yeah, they said that earlier.
So it's pretty much.
Well, and I think you can have this for the video too. Is I think a lot of people, they come out here with these claims and they say, "Oh, each pedestal can service up to 8 homes."
Right.
Well, if we only have,
But in reality, it's not.
so just to put that out there, then if we have 320 homes here, and some of them are not being lived in, that would be 40 pedestals. And so,
Right. Which we would completely not care
even
about.
if it was 4 to 1,
If you
no,
stood by what you
we're
said,
just talking. So I think
with them servicing 8 homes,
part of this, yeah. So
then nobody would care about the pedestals.
because we'd be talking about somewhere in the neighborhood of like 35 to 40. I don't think anybody would have even.
No, we wouldn't have bat an eye. We would never have bat an eye.
All right, have a good night.
Nice to meet you both.
Mm.